It's time for the Stoops Review with Toby Rowland, TJ Perry, and Hall of Fame head coach Bob Stoops. The Stoops Review is brought to you every week by Stride Bank. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. And now, with the Stoops Review, here's Toby Rowland, TJ Perry, and Bob Stoops.
Time for our weekly chat with head coach Bob Stoops. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Toby, TJ. Sorry for the mix-up all week. I've been in Ohio until yesterday afternoon, so.
We completely understand, and our condolences on top of everybody else's, Coach, for the passing of your mother. And sounds like you had a beautiful service on Monday.
Yeah, well, thank you, Toby. Yes, no, my entire family was back for couple of days, Sunday and Monday, and I had a great service. It was really uplifting and ton of people, and so anyway, it was. We got a lot of peace knowing she's back with my father. So I said it a few times. He met her at the gates of heaven, and he's like, "What took you so long? I've been up here a long time waiting on you."
We've been talking this hour about being a sports parent. Coach, and what it's like based on the different ages. What kind of a sports mom was your mom?
She's the ultimate sports wife and mother. I mean, we were thinking of that. How many games you think she saw? My dad was, always played 1AA baseball his entire life until, oddly, when he got to a certain age, he couldn't pick up the spin anymore. You baseball guys would understand that. So then he went to fast pitch softball. So she was at all those games and then all of our games. And then she started traveling to Oklahoma, to Manhattan, Kansas, to Mike out in Arizona and Kentucky games. So she's been to 1 million games.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, Coach, what did you think about the game down at Ole Miss on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought I saw some encouraging things offensively, I think. I thought Jackson settled in and really started to look more comfortable, which is a positive. And, it shows he's got the ability and talent. And, and the guys, opened up the pass game a little more. We opened up a little more run game. We weren't careless with the football. So all of it to get even – I thought we made some strides, and that's a positive.
It's a tough evaluation of Jackson Arnold this year because of the situation with the offensive line. But what do you think of what you've seen from the young quarterback?
Receivers.
Yeah, and receivers. You're right. Everything going on with the offense. Well, what is your impression of Jackson? Yeah,
I don't know. I like what I saw here. I've seen him in practice, and I've loved what I've seen. So I'm encouraged. I think he's got a bright future. I really do. It is unfair to play with the struggling O-line, and which then struggling running the ball, and then you're without all your top receivers. That's a bad combination. So it's been tough. But I like what I saw this past week, and I like what I've seen before in practices.
Coach, in the era of the transfer portal that we're in now, obviously the offensive line's got to get better before next season. Now and before next season, definitely. What is the best way to go about that? Do you just go try to get 5 new guys in the transfer portal? Do you just trust the development of some of these guys that have played and struggled this year? What's your advice to try to get this O-line back to where everybody wants it to be?
Yeah, I think it's both. There'll be some guys that really, I trust Bill's judgment that can come on and get better and improve. I would imagine there's some that he has felt, maybe we did make a mistake here and isn't going to get any, much better at all. So I think it'll be both. And then we've, got to be able to target. In today's world, you could change your roster quite dramatically in a few months. They're just finding the right targets that are going to improve you because, it can happen that quickly.
Well, we owe you a big thank you, Sooner Nation, for the clandestine advanced scouting you did on Maine a month ago or so when you went up there to obviously check out their practices and stuff, unbeknownst to them. But we got an opponent this week that is an FCS team, Coach, that OU's a big favorite over. How do you handle a game like this? This is I don't know how many you had. Maybe none where they come late in the season like this. Normally they're very
No, I don't
ever
ever recall one.
Yeah,
I don't ever
you got some
recall
young
one
guys.
like this.
Maybe you want to get some work, or how would you handle a week like this?
I would first and foremost keep cleaning up our own business, with penalties and turnovers. Let's play smart football. It's all about play the very best we can play. And that's, whatever that is, let's come out and do it. And I always felt then if I never counted on, I don't know that we ever had an FCS team, but I never counted on a blowout, just let's do the very best we can, and we'll react to it after that. And definitely you would want to get some guys that have used their, have burned, don't have a chance at a red shirt. And I guess in today's world, if they haven't played in more than 4 games, let's see what they can do. And go out there and, but you have to be careful. You don't want to all of a sudden then get sloppy the entire fourth quarter or whatever it might be. And you kind of go back in that hole of, man, we're not executing very well, So to me, it's just play your best right from the go and react to it afterwards. And you might have some guys that you've already circled that let's not forget about getting him in the game and getting some plays.
The Stoops Review, presented by Stride Bank, is brought to you in part by Riverwind Casino. Their newly remodeled gaming floor has almost 3,000 of your favorite games, complemented by a variety of bars, restaurants, and the best live music in the metro. It's no surprise that Riverwind is always a good time.
By the way, pet peeve, they got to get some uniformity in college sports with this. I don't mind the 4-game redshirt rule, but you can play 4 games in college football in redshirt. You throw one pitch or have one at-bat in baseball, your red shirt's blown. You have one dribble in basketball, your red shirt's blown. And then we got this one sport over here where you could play in 33% of the games and still red shirt. So we got to figure that out. Get some kind of uniformity
definitely
across the board.
Yeah, and I would think, I don't know why it wouldn't be the same for the other sports. Let them get a taste of it, see what they can do, and then not burn their whole year for it.
The goals have changed, obviously, Coach, to now if they could extend the bowl streak that you started back in 1999, that would be pretty good at this point. They need 2 more wins to do that, which means they need to beat Maine and they need to pull off an upset somewhere along the way. What is the value of that, Coach? What is the value of getting those extra bowl practices for a program?
Well, it's really important for, as we just said a minute ago, the development of these young players. You get a full month of practice, meetings and practice. So guys, I would pull out a lot of the practices early before, we started really honing in on our game plan for a bowl game. But I would have a bunch of, whether it be scrimmages or practice time take the seniors out. And let's move the ball up and down the field like we would a game, even if we weren't tackling, simulate where he would have been tackled, get to the next play, and, basically like a scrimmage or a game without the seniors in there. So we got a lot of good work with the younger players.
It was great to see you at the basketball banquet last night, Coach. What'd you think about the Porter's new team?
I loved it. I think the world of Porter Moser, and as a person and as a coach, and it was fun meeting and seeing his team. They did a really good job of getting them all up in front of everybody. You and Porter asking them questions. It's really neat, I think, to be able to see the personalities, and then you're more apt to be closer to the team or follow the team closer. So I thought it was fantastic. They did a really good job there at the Noun Hotel. And you and Porter, of course, did a great job up in front of everybody.
They were a well-spoken group of guys. I was impressed by them last night. Yeah, it doesn't translate
awesome.
necessarily to wins, but that was kind of fun.
I bet it does. I watched them practice here about a week ago, and they were going at it. I mean, these guys were playing hard, and which is neat. I love to see that. It's the first thing I look at when I watch somebody practice is what's their effort like, how hard are they really going? And they were going at it. So, yeah, and like you said, really sharp guys up there talking to everybody. And not surprising, though, the young people we work with in today's world, they're 99% of them are just incredible.
Yeah. Coach, I'd be interested in, it's been a tough season for Brent, and circumstances have not been kind, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You're a Hall of Famer, and the winningest coach in OU history, but there were some seasons that, not many, but a couple here or there that maybe you didn't win as many games as the fans would have hoped, and you got some criticism. And my question is, what is it like when you're taking bullets like this from the outside and the fans aren't happy and you're trying to keep everybody inside that locker room on the same page and optimistic?
Yeah, a few times it did happen to me. I remember sitting in my car before I walk in the building giving myself a pep talk because I'm the first one everyone looks at, and you gotta keep the energy. You gotta stay positive. I don't care what the circumstance. You gotta have a positive mindset and a belief that you can improve this and get better. Because if you don't, it all starts there. If you don't, you got no prayer. If you don't believe you got a chance, so you just gotta project that as a head coach, and keep working hard, motivating the staff and the players to give your best. And you don't never know what might happen. And so, that to me, that's the biggest thing.
I love Brent. I'm rooting for him. I know you do too, and you are. What have you seen in him that gives you encouragement that there's championship football under Brent Venables on the other side of this?
Yeah, just his relentless work ethic and determination. And he's a positive guy, and I just really believe as time goes, he's going to build it. And he's again, I think was, for different reasons, make excuses or not, just some of the injuries and or some of the got caught with somehow with the offensive line guys, leave to the NFL early or whatnot, just got caught in a bad situation, a little more than they're used to. So, but I know how hard he goes at it, how he works, and how relentless he is. That I got faith that he'll turn it back around.
The Stoops Review, presented by Stride Bank, is brought to you in part by Fowler Automotive. Fowler Automotive is proud to be part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom.
I know you have sympathy. Are there you mentioned that moment where you're sitting in the car giving yourself a pep talk. When a coach, Brent or otherwise, is having a season like this, do you have some flashbacks to, oh boy, I know what they're going through right now?
Oh, absolutely. I do. And, yeah, I mean, you soul searching yourself too of am I doing everything I need to do, to give us an opportunity to be great and to win. And I was big on, I wanted input from my staff. I was always big on tell me anybody, any ideas, what might help, or what might be better for us. And I didn't have to agree with them or go with the idea, but I wanted to hear from them. And sometimes I did listen or, to what they wanted to do and acted on it. So anyway, no, I was big on wanting to hear, their information. I tell you what, though, was it the year we played Tennessee at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And
15.
Yeah, 15. I switched practices from we got to where we started practicing on Fridays. We called it Fast Friday, short and fast, where we were practicing on Friday, and we had Thursday as our walkthrough day instead of practicing Thursday and walking through Friday before the game. And everyone thought I was nuts. You're going to do this before Tennessee? And I felt we were stale. We needed to jumpstart something. So we did that, and before the Tennessee game. And, of course, we win, have that comeback win and whatnot. And from then on, the players loved it. Like, this is fantastic. Walk through Thursday, and we have our Fast Friday ahead of the game. Because, say, you have a Saturday night game, right? Mm-hmm. If you were practicing Thursday and then you walk through Friday, you're going almost 48 hours without being in rhythm playing, throwing the ball, catching it, whatnot. And that went back to old, Chip Kelly started all that. And, by studying sprinters and Olympic people, that they went hard the day before the game and rested 2 days before.
Huh.
A lot of the science behind that. But
was that your idea, or was it somebody else on the coaching staff?
It was mine. I had been thinking about it, and I said, "The heck with it! I'm just going to do it." Of course, I ran it by the assistant coaches, and I don't know if they all thought I was nuts or not, but they knew I was pretty determined to do it. So no one fought me on it.
Yeah.
But it worked. And again, like I said, after that, our players loved it. And whether the science is right or not, they totally bought into it, and that's all that matters.
When it's the head coach's idea, everybody likes it. Like, yeah, that's a good idea, Coach. It's a good idea.
Yeah,
who
usually.
is the most argumentative assistant you ever had? Who would talk or give you the most grief? Probably your brother.
Oh no, I mean, they all knew I wanted to hear from them. No one was argumentative, and Mike, even though I was his brother, was still, I was still the head coach. So no one really argumentative. Just what's that? Yeah,
no, I didn't say anything.
But so anyway, no one argumentative. But Mangino was quick to speak up. Mike was. Brent was. Chuck Long. They were all quick. They knew, I was close with all of them. They knew I wanted to hear from them. So
yeah,
they were all quick to jump in and say what they thought.
I love it. I have a similar thing to Fast Fridays, TJ, Coach. I call it Fast Food Fridays, where I just gorge myself on
Is that your splurge day?
Yeah, it's very, very similar to you. I just want to make sure I'm ready for Saturday.
His splurge day ends in a Y, Coach. I mean, what are you talking about?
That's right. Well, Coach, we appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Look forward to hearing you on with Teddy and Tyler tomorrow. And I know it's been a tough week, but we appreciate you taking a few minutes for us.
Yeah, thanks for understanding, everybody. The schedule is just a little off this week, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
See you, Coach.